Hello and welcome to a very special episode of The Brave Room. With me today, we have the lovely Quyen from Razer. Say hi, Quyen.
Hello.
So, Quyen, I am told, is the Grandmaster of Razer Cortex, which is, I'm told in business terms, is translated to Senior Director of Software. But before we go any further, I guess, would you like to explain to the lovely people what Razer Cortex is?
Yes. So, at Razer, we have a lot of awesome hardware, right? And we have software that powers the awesomeness of that hardware with cool things like RGB lighting, all the chroma special effects, things like that, right? So, in the Razer software team, we work on software like that. And we've also grown some software that's not just for Razer hardware. It's meant for all PCs or all mobile phones. And Cortex is one of those. Cortex is more of a game optimizer. So basically, it kind of helps you set up some profiles and settings on your PC or on your mobile phone before you play a game. Like on the PC, you can turn off certain processes and things like that, or change the lighting scheme, visual effects of your PC so that when you're playing certain games, it runs smoother and better. And mobile, the same thing. We have some features like do not disturb and things like that. So if you're about to enter a pretty intense game, you don't want messages intruding on the screen, stuff like that.
I always tell my friends the reason why I don't play Genshin Impact on mobile is because I would not have friends anymore if I got killed because someone sent me a meme while I was playing.
Yeah, or heaven forbid you press on it when the message comes up. It's like,
That already happens with, I play a rhythm game on my phone, and everyone loves to text me the moment I start playing that game. And the amount of times I've been actually mad at people going you ruined my script. How was I supposed to know you were playing a rhythm game at the time? Or whatever. So yeah.
And I'm also super paranoid about messages from messengers where they know that you read the message and you swipe it away, go away, I'm trying I need to finish this, and they're like, I know you read my message, you're not responding.
Yeah, so the point we're trying to get at is Razer Cortex fixes this. it takes what is an otherwise super elaborate process and makes it, would it be safe to say it's a one button solution?
You set up some things, and on the phone you just turn on gaming mode and there are some dials that you push. Yeah, and then after that, every time you launch a game, we just know that you're playing a game, and so it just automatically changes the settings. So once you got it set up, then it's automatic. Yeah. So yeah, and we've been growing the feature set that's on there, and what we've been seeing is that actually there's another set of features that have gained a lot of interest. We started giving out Razer Silver, which is our Razer loyalty points that you can turn in for stuff like Razer gear. You can turn it in for actual Razer headsets and keyboards and backpacks and stuff like that. And we started giving out Razer Silver for stuff that you do inside the app. At first, it was a program called Pay to Play, where you just play a certain game for 3 minutes and then you get silver. So it's you get silver for playing games. And we've been seeing this huge interest and people wanting to earn more silver. So we started on this route of looking for other ways to give away Razer Silver. And that's how we kind of got to Cortex Instant Games.
So what's the conversion rate on Razer Silver, by the way?
Razer Silver is not something that you can ever buy. It is something you can only earn because they're loyalty points. You can buy Razer Gold, which is a digital currency. And that's accepted in a lot of games, including PUBG. When you spend Razer Gold, then you get loyalty points, and all these Razer loyalty points eventually rack up, and then you can claim something like a new headset or something.
Oh, that's really good. I should say, I am a hopeless addict to any kind of gamification. I am the biggest, most vulnerable mark for it. I kept my entire year I spent in the UK, I had a Cafe Nero loyalty card stuck to the back of my phone. Even though I never went to Cafe Nero. I went to Cafe Nero, I think the grand total of 3 times my entire time there. The first 2 times was just because that was the only place that was open at the time. And the third time was because I knew I'd get a free drink on the third visit.
I'm totally like that too. Because I'm a gamer, I think I'm easier to gamify. And I do the same thing with the Starbucks app. I totally would just order whatever they tell me. Like literally, I've been at Starbucks and my husband's like, "What do you want?" So, hold on, I have to check. He's like, "Are you gonna let the app tell you what to order?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am," because it's gonna give me more points today.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of these kinds of get points for spending stuff. I developed like a whole system for it for the Nintendo eShop as well, where I pay full price on $60 games because those give the most like points back, and then I use those points to buy indie games.
So now you can exchange Razer Silver for Nintendo eShop credits.
And that's how I'm sold.
So now you can play games, and then you can get Nintendo eShop credits so you can play more games.
This is how my productivity just grinds to a halt.
And that's exactly what we've been seeing with a lot of our users. We have some digital currency credits that come in and out for PUBG, Roblox, Mobile Legends, and Nintendo eShop, things like that. Or if you're in the US, you can get a $5 gift certificate to Dunkin' Donuts, things like that. So just stuff gamers want. And so if you're gaming anyway, and especially on mobile, in the Cortex Games, the mobile app, there's a ton of ways to earn silver. So it's like we have a lot of fans that just check, what's the game today? Oh, okay, I'm gonna play this one today because I can get some extra points, and maybe it'll get me towards that gift certificate I'm looking for.
That sweet 6-pack of donuts, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, we touched on that, but so Razer Cortex also now has its own games, right?
Yeah, so we launched something called Cortex Instant Games. They're very simple, hyper-casual games. And it's not really the games themselves. We have like 100 that we're focusing on. We have like 100 different games that are going to be available. But it's more about the tournaments and the platform. Because we can see that our fans love competition. They love coming in and getting bonuses for doing stuff, right? And so it's not really meant to be your primary gaming experience. It's meant for like the in-between, snack size entertainment that you might want if you're in a commute somewhere, or if you're sitting around waiting for your squad to team up, right? And then it's like, well, I'll just pick this up because the sessions last anywhere from like, 10 seconds to, you could play for 30 minutes. But it's mostly sort of snack size entertainment. You come in, look at those casual games, tournaments that we have going, enter a tournament, and then you kind of see where you stack up on the leaderboard. And then we are trying out a few things right now. We were giving out silver to the top 50 on the leaderboard, but right now we've extended it to top 100 players get silver. And on the top player getting 20,000 silver.
That sounds like a lot, yeah.
Yes! I think that might be enough for some e-credits, Nintendo gift shop credits.
So, yeah, when you say tournaments, I assume like you're not doing the whole bracket sort of thing, right? Is it just like a leaderboard thing?
Yeah, it's just leaderboard. That's right. So our tournaments go from they'll run anywhere from about 1 day to 3 days. Some of them might go a little longer, but typically it's about 1 to 3 days. And we usually run somewhere from 4 to 6 different tournaments at the same time. And so you can come in, enter a tournament, see where you rack up, and then check back later to see how much silver you've won, or see where you rank up and see if you can try to climb the leaderboard.
Do you guys send notifications as well that like, oh, you have a shot at climbing again?
We have a few notifications right now, but we're working on some improving that. We just recently launched a few weeks ago, and we have a lot more coming that we're planning.
That's good to know. And you have like, I should point out, not all the games are developed by Razer, right? Like, because you partnered with, and I'm gonna get in trouble for mispronouncing this name, is it Gaora?
Goama. Yeah, actually, at Razer, we're not really interested in making games. There's already a ton of awesome games out there, whether they're casual games or core games, and they're all our partners. So the intent was not really to make games; it was to create a hyper casual tournament system, a platform where people can come in and compete. And so we partnered with Goama. It's their catalog of over 100 games that we're using for the tournaments.
That being said, they did make a Razer game though, because we have that Sneki Snek game.
That's right. You're right. We asked them to make the Sneki Snek adventure game, and we're pretty excited about how it turned out. We are running some tournaments with it right now, and all of the proceeds go to saving real trees. So we're donating to Conservation International to save real trees whenever you play a Sneki Snek game.
So basically what you're saying is you play the game, you save the tree, and then you get donuts. This sounds like
Yes.
a win-win-win.
Exactly.
So I guess the most obvious question is like, why have a hyper casual tournament? Like, I feel like those two words are almost an oxymoron when you put them together.
Because especially on mobile, what we're seeing is that we have a diverse group of users. We have like Razer fans who are really core gamers, and we have casual gamers that are coming in from that also spend many hours gaming on their phone, but they play a different set of games. And I really believe that gamers love a challenge. Like the gamers always love a good game, So even if you're a core gamer, if you find a cool game that is just challenging and engaging, that a core gamer will play it, especially on the mobile, because people play differently depending on the type of screen that they're using, right? Like
Yeah.
Tetris is a good example of that. Everybody loves Tetris, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted something that was going to be really easy to pick up for everybody, and to really work on the gamification and the platform, the tournament part of that, so that it was self-explanatory. All the games are there have tutorials, but they're meant to really be self-explanatory. You pick it up, play for a few minutes, and then you go back to your regular gaming.
Yeah, I can definitely see the market for that, because I think like normally with a tournament, like I think I mentioned this on the last episode of the podcast as well. I just came back from being kicked in the butt at EVO. That was like a solid month of me using my after work hours to practice. I think people want to be rewarded for a game that they don't have to practice for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes playing a game is so intense, right? And then when you're done, you just feel like you need something else to just sort of like get back to reality, right? And so you want to kind of play something mindless sometimes. So even though we have serious gamers that are playing really intense sessions and you get off that session, people are still looking for some way to unwind. And this is really what that's meant to be. It's stuff that's entertainment that's just really easy for anybody to pick up, but you can still have that competition, that exciting aspect of having a challenge. And we hope that a lot of people are finding it challenging to be able to just climb the ladder, because every time you look at the leaderboard, you can see, I'm getting 1,000 silver right now, but if I just got like 10 more points, I can get 2,000 silver, So it's like, I just want to play a little bit more to see if I can get there.
Weirdly enough, I'm very familiar with this type of leaderboard, and you wouldn't believe it, but the thing I think that uses this really well is Duolingo, of all things.
Oh, yes, I've used Duolingo too.
That owl is so good at pressing my buttons.
It's like just a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Actually, he would be so upset I stopped, but
Oh man, I'm running an 820-day streak right now or something.
Wow, that's impressive.
Because the moment the owl sends the email like, hey, this is the time you usually open Duolingo, how come it's not open, buddy? I'm like, hold on, sumimasen.
And that's exactly the same kind of feeling we want to invoke, right? Because it's that's why I say the game, although you're playing games, it's not really about the game, it's really about the competition and the tournaments.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you can progress, you can do better.
It's like I saved more trees than Roberto 607.
Exactly.
I think people forget is like, we talk a lot about like, positive experiences in gaming and stuff, sometimes winning just feels good.
And yes, you have to feel that sometimes. I think,
Yeah.
it's a fine balance. Actually, I found that globally there's sort of a different tolerance for that with different people, different areas of the world where people will try really hard to try to get better, and in some areas it's like people just want to win sometimes. Yeah.
It's not just like, I think one person can have both those feelings as well, because sometimes to bring this back to Guilty Gear, sometimes I will go like, oh, today I want to learn the matchup, so I'll lose 5 games in a row, but I'll say, oh, but I know what to do in this situation, and that feels fulfilling. And sometimes I just want to go 2-0 on someone, sometimes it's be like, I am a god.
and that's awesome that you recognize the feeling of progression and growth. And it's like, and I think that's something that's everybody, even if they're not a gamer, it's like you always want to feel like you're growing, and whether that's by giving up some game sessions so that you can learn, right? Giving up some wins, or you just had a really rough day because you've lost every single match in your game, and you're like, I'm just gonna go over here and win some silver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I may not be able to win at fighting games, but hey, Sneki Snek though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna pour all of this dedication and focus into getting myself like 2,000 Razer silver.
Exactly. Because it's real, and you can make yourself feel better by saying, see, forget you, Roberto 258. I want real Razer silver.
And then the best part is because you can spend that silver on real stuff, then you can manifest it into a tangible thing.
Like donuts.
Like donuts. Or like DLC on the Nintendo eShop or something.
Yeah. We actually see a spike in whenever there's new seasons of certain games and some of the DLCs that go along with it, and then all of a sudden there's people in Cortex playing like mad trying to get silver so they can get the DLC for the new season. That's
really, really interesting. Like, I didn't think there would be people with that level of like two-step thinking. It's like, oh man, I gotta grind this casual game so that I can get my Fortnite battle pass.
It's so funny because I think gamers are so susceptible to that. It's like, should I pay $5 for this, or should I grind for 5 hours? I'll grind for 5 hours. It's kind of that same kind of feeling. I'm gonna go.
I used to be like that. Then my time started getting super scarce, and now I'm just like, I use credit card no jutsu to solve my problem.
Yeah, I know. I think that that comes with, definitely for me, has come with age. As I've gotten older, I'm like, nope, I don't have time for that. I only have an hour to play now.
Yeah, the entire GamerBraze editorial team are a bunch of no good gacha addicts. So we all play a bunch of gacha games, and everyone always tells me like, oh, for like Genshin, is you can get enough for a 10 pull if you just do your dailies every day for a month or something like that. And I'm like, I don't have that time. But look, if I hit the credit card button, I get it now.
Now that you say that, I realize that maybe there is a game I'm playing right now where I just log in every day, and my husband's like, "Why are you doing that?" So I'm like, "I don't know. I have to go collect my my daily loot because I don't want to pay for this stuff later."
Oh, are you allowed to say what game that is?
Right now I'm playing AFK Arena on the mobile.
Oh, that game's really popular.
It's been, it's I didn't expect to like it this much because it's really just a lot of collecting loot, but it has that satisfaction of collecting loot. So
yes, but people forget collecting loot feels good sometimes.
Yeah, I think it kind of satisfies that. So I feel like I have to do it every day. Like I'm like religious. Like and it's like, why? He's like, why are you doing that? You can just spend some money. And no, I need to collect my loot.
Yeah, it's sometimes it feels good to be a free to play.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, credit card no jutsu is a dark art. And so sometimes you don't feel like using the dark arts.
Because you feel like you've earned it when you've been grinding for hours and days and months. So,
yeah, it's like, I used to be a free-to-play in this game called Review Starlight. And so if I got the limited edition character that, it would only be available for like 2 weeks or whatever, I would feel like, oh, this is God's divine reward to me for not spending money. Because God has blessed me with a 4-star.
It's kind of crazy because we have so many options. There's so many freemium games now that it's like, I think the level of like, you know, tolerance of like when do I pay has gone up a lot, you know, so that you can grind a lot before you have to pay. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely, because now because that used to be the only gacha game I was playing, but now I have like I think 4 or something. Like I'm constantly moving between gacha games. I'm just like, I don't have the time to, you know.
Yeah.
What I do have is a credit card, and that's
I have like a certain level of like commitment. Like once I've played it enough, like okay, you deserve my credit card now. Okay, you know.
Yeah, same. I didn't put out for Review Starlight until like 3 years out.
3 years is a long time. I actually, one of my favorite games on mobile is Auto Chess.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the Dragon Nest version is the best. Really, if you want to play Auto Chess version on mobile, without even realizing I played for a year, then I was like, oh god, I should give him some money because I've just been grinding for so long in this game. So.
Well, I mean, retained users are their own valid form of currency as well.
That's true. Yes, for contributing to the community.
Yeah, for keeping the game alive. Because I think there was a statistic that showed like, you know, for every 100 users, I think like only like 10 of them pay or something like that.
That I've seen stats like that too. Yeah, and in some games, especially like the more casual games, it's pretty small, like 5%.
Yeah. To bring that back a bit, I guess we should say that like the games on Cortex do not have a freemium element to it, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things we have on Cortex. We started out with a discovery page where we recommend games. So those are not our games. Those are actually Cortex recommendations. They're from Razer employees. I call them our editors, because, you know, we are a company of gamers and we have a diverse group of different types of gamers, including female staff who are also core gamers. And so if you ever want to check out recommendations from Razer staff, we have a page there where we're constantly recommending what we think is cool. So those will take you to Google Play, or if you're on Cortex PC, it'll take you to, you know, the appropriate PC app store to download. In Cortex Instant games, we've done something different where they're instant, so you don't need to download. So once you go into the tournament area, all the games will just start playing immediately. So that's why we call them instant games, so that you can get in the tournament and get out really quick, because it's really more about getting your score and then seeing yourself on the leaderboard, and we're switching out the games all the time. There's an arcade where all the games are there, so you can practice as much as you like, and all of the tournaments you can practice for free. And then when you're ready to enter a tournament, if you want to win a prize, you do have to pay. So you can either pay Razer Gold or pay Razer Silver, which are our loyalty points. So like if you're playing to earn loyalty points, then you can also spend the loyalty points inside Cortex to enter a tournament where you might get more loyalty points. And when you enter a tournament, then you can play as much as you like to keep, you know, trying to get higher on the leaderboard.
Yeah, so basically it's you pay to enter, but there's no, I can't buy a 50 times Sneki Snek multiplier or something.
Wait, not yet, but that's a good idea.
Get your way to the top of the leaderboard.
It's all for a good cause.
Are the instant tournaments like a permanent fixture? Like, or is it just like a limited thing you guys are running?
It's a permanent feature that will have the tournaments coming in and out. So there's a new tournament starting about every day. There's a timer, so it tells you when the tournament's going to end. And we're kind of playing around with the timing right now. So about 1 to 3 days for each tournament. We might make them shorter in the future. And also just trying to see what's going to be the most engaging for our users since we just launched.
Just had like a laughably silly thought of some company, you know, they're all at their desks in their cubicles, right? And then they all get a notification being like, hey, get the high score in Sneki Snek before lunch to win, a million Razer silver, and suddenly everyone like just falls over each other trying to do it.
That's an awesome idea for to sell events to companies. Yeah, actually, we've talked about doing some internal like employee tournaments, things like that. I think that would be fun because our employees also love to collect silver, so they can get free stuff.
Again, we are very weak to gamification.
Yes.
I'm just laughing at the idea now of like some sort of Sneki Snek shoutcaster going. Oh, he missed a seat over there. That's gonna cost him the number one spot.
You're right. We need an MC. We're gonna need an MC for our tournaments.
That just have like a live stream.
I'm gonna need if you are a streamer and you want to play the game and stream it, contact me. We can talk about doing some videos together. I think that would be awesome. Have somebody like play the game and talk people through it and give some like some tips how to win the Sneki Snek tournament.
Yes, I am this gold tier Sneki Snek player. Here's my tips on how you too can get to.
Exactly.
Do you watch a lot of anime, by the way, Quyen?
Yes, I used to. Is there any particular you're thinking of right now?
No, because we were talking about the tournaments, and how the first thing I asked was, is it a bracket system? Because most tournaments are bracket system. And you said no. There's one very important tournament that I just realized isn't a bracket system either, and that's this Duelist City from Yu-Gi-Oh. So what I'm asking is basically, is the Sneki Snek finals gonna take place on a blimp
in a stadium? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I do think like in general, the high of winning is great, and more casual people should be allowed to have that feeling. So I think that's my main thoughts on the whole instant tournament thing.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to continue to develop new ways for our fans to earn Razer Silver. We just thought that this would be a fun way to introduce some competition, gamify it a bit. We get lots of requests from users and fans of they need more ways to earn silver. So we'll keep coming up with creative ideas.
I think an ingenious way that's just been inspired upon me is Razer Gacha game, where all the different Razer products are anime girls. Think about it. That's how Razer will continue to make all the money.
And we've actually run through some of those concepts. We've had lots of different little ideas of what we could do inside the app, including like a pachinko or coin machine, or a claw, one of those claw machines where you can grab stuff out.
Those are mean. My brother has banned me from going to claw machines after I blew like I think 5,000. Yeah, it's like 1,000 yen, more than 1,000 yen at an arcade, trying to get something. And he was like, no more claw machines for you. Just find a fighting game cabinet or something and stick here before we end up broke.
Because it always looks like you're going to get it. It's that thrill, right? Like you're gonna get it. No, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that feeling of just a little more is a very powerful thing.
It is. We have a lot of fun actually talking through what we can do with the app and how we're going to evolve it. And so we have talked about some of those ideas, but they didn't make the cut. So
I should point out too, like I was looking through some of the games on the library for Cortex. Like there's quite a few interesting looking ones. Like first of all, Boom Knight is a great name. What was this? Cyber Rider looks pretty interesting. I should point out I haven't had the chance to actually play them because it is Android only. Razer Cortex app.
Yes, you're right. It is. Oh, and right now we don't happen to have, we have staff picked hidden gems. Those are the ones that, we try to find ones that we think people may not know about and give a shout out to smaller game developers. But right now we don't have it in there, but sometimes we also have a category called Renee's Row, which is one of our female staff. And she always has awesome game selections. So we try to, anytime we see cool games that we love, we try to throw them in there so that people can find out about them.
Yeah, that's definitely sounds like a fun, like you said, it's a fun way to kill time between whatever next thing you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Your mobile phone's with you all the time. So, what are you going to do? Check your social media again? So if you have some time, then everything here is meant to be just bite-sized entertainment. You can come in, check out, maybe explore some new games, check out a tournament, see if you can, win a little silver, and then
and then save the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, we are about at time for today. Is there anything else you want to get out there to the lovely people listening?
No, thank you. This has been a great conversation. Thanks for inviting me here to chat.
No problem. This has been another lovely episode of The Brave Room. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave a comment. If the episode hits 1,000 plays, I have to take one of your terrible suggestions. So work together to make sure you come up with something really bad. Thank you so much to Quyen for coming on the show. And don't forget to, download Razer Cortex, get some Razer Silver, get some donuts if you're in the US. Flex upon me with your gamer donuts and cold weather. And while I sit here dying in the heat without any donuts at all. This has been another episode of The Brave Room. Take care, guys.